My name is Muna Al Harbi, and I have multiple sclerosis. Many people believe that when you become sick with a disease like this, it is a sentence. However, I have learned that you have no option but to keep moving forward. Over the course of this series, we will be joined by some of the leading doctors and healthcare professionals working on multiple sclerosis. We will explore what is multiple sclerosis, what causes it, and how it can be managed. I remember my first symptoms were in 2012. I was pregnant with my second child. I was working in the kitchen normally, and I was cooking, and suddenly my legs and arms went numb. I thought it was because I was in my last trimester of pregnancy and that there was some pressure on the spine or something like that. I ignored it totally. And after I gave birth, the numbness was still there and it started to decrease little bit, but it didn't go away. Until 2014, I got pregnant with my third child, and after I gave birth to my third child, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks. And I was confused, and I had many different symptoms that made me more confused, and I didn't know what was going with my body. So I decided to go to see a spine specialist, and it was the first doctor who gave me a report that something was wrong with me. He didn't tell me what was wrong, and he just told me, you have to see a neurologist. And he was very strict in his tone. He told me, you have to see a neurologist. I told him, but doctor, what's wrong with me? You have to tell me. He told me, it's not my specialty. You have to see a neurologist. So I took the report. I gave it to my sister, and my sister didn't say anything. And she told me, you have to see a neurologist. From their reaction, I knew it was serious. So I went and took an appointment with with a new neurologist that I didn't know before. And she was unsupportive in a way that she made me very scared. And she told me, where is your support system? You need someone to be with you now. And I will not say anything until you ask one of your family members to come. So I told her, there is nobody with me now. I will call my sister. You can talk to her. So I called my sister. I gave the phone to the doctor, and she told the doctor some terms, medical terms I couldn't understand. And then she told me, it's better if you go to a different neurologist. So I took another appointment with a different neurologist. And there they break the news to me that I have multiple sclerosis. At the beginning, the doctor told me, Muna, we need to do some scans. And these scans will tell us it's either you have this or this. And the third option was multiple sclerosis. So after I did the scans and all the tests it needed, he told me, Allah doesn't put something in someone without knowing that he is stronger than that. I don't know how to put it, but this is what he said. And so I told him, doctor, what's wrong with me? He told me multiple sclerosis. To be honest, I was relieved because I didn't know anything about this disease and I didn't know any aspect of the disease. I was just relieved that it was nothing related to me being overweight. It was weird and funny that because I didn't know anything about this disease, I said, thank God it's not about me being overweight, that there was something wrong with me for these symptoms to keep appearing. So in 2016, I was officially diagnosed by a fifth neurologist. I went to 5 doctors until someone gave it to me plain and direct, which was, by the way, Dr. Ahmed Shatila. And he told me, Mona, you have MS. It's serious. It's not lethal. You just need to take things slow, and you have to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So at the beginning, because I didn't understand the disease very well, I didn't take it that serious. I said, to me, that's fine. I can handle this. And later on, I understood that it was a phase called denial. I lived in denial for a whole year before I got this fear and anxiety that maybe I couldn't see my children when they grow up. I will lose my sight. I was so worried about my daily life because I had a very busy schedule and a very busy lifestyle. I was worried that I couldn't keep going. So that fear took me to a phase that was, in medical terms, called depression. So when I had that depression, I isolated myself. I lost many friends and people who were surrounding me. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I kept away from even my children. I locked myself in a dark room and stay away from everyone. It was very hard to go through that phase, which took me to anger. I was very angry all the time, and this anger made me lose more people, made me difficult to work with, difficult for people to deal with me. And it was part of the phases that I understood later. It was part of the phase of a coping phase that everyone who had bad news about their body or about a loved one, they go through. For those 2 years that I shut myself from the world, I kept searching and looking for help and trying to reach out until I talked to someone who was very dear to me, and he advised me to go through this journey. It's more like a coaching, life-changing journey. It transformed my life dramatically in a big positive way in many aspects. This journey took 6 months of my life, but it transformed me in a way that you see today. 6 months I was going through a roller coaster of emotions, and every emotion I went through was very tangible and real to me. So after I finished this journey, this transformation journey, I decided to step out of my bubble and to help others. And I saw there was a lack of information about MS and MS community and MS events and things related to MS. So I said to myself, why don't I speak up and speak out about it? And I had a huge impact, and many people reached out to me, and many people were suffering in silence. So that gave me a stronger motivation to keep moving forward and to keep helping people to cope with such a disease. And it changed me in a way that I feel super comfortable talking about it, and I feel blessed in having this disease in my life. It changed my attitude. It changed my relationship with my children, my husband, my family, my workplace. It gave me more motivation to do more. I established my business. I established my website. I started to do many things I didn't expect that MS will let me do. And now, today, the way you see me, the strength you see me in, is because I changed my life and I moved forward. I accepted MS. I accepted an MS and I made it my friend. I learned how to deal with it. I learned how to manage it. And now I can tell people who are coping with MS or any chronic disease, if you don't beat it, it will beat you. You have to stand strong. Stand strong enough to overcome it with the help of your friends and your community and your family, and most importantly, your inside self. Again, I just want to emphasize on acceptance. Acceptance is the key for MS or any chronic disease. If you accept it and you learn how to deal with it, you will overcome it and you will move forward. Multiple sclerosis didn't only affect me, it affected my sister as well, Muna Al Harbi. This is her story.
So I noticed that something wasn't right about my sister, Muna, when it was around her delivery time and after she gave birth. She was initially started to complain about some symptoms of weakness, inability to move, which at the time, like any other like sister or family member, would attribute it to, being tired, exhausted, lack of sleep, or taking care of a new baby. But over time, her symptoms were not resolving, sometimes becoming worse, sometimes becoming better. On other occasions, she would develop something new, which was surprising at the time, but unfortunately did not alert us that something else was going on. I was worried about my sister for sure because being in a medical background and noticing her symptoms were not improving actually. And at the time, she didn't go through tests or any imaging to know exactly what the problem. But the symptoms were alarming in a sense that it needed attention. So we would go back and forth in certain conversations. Sometimes I'm trying not to be the doctor, I'm trying to be the sister. So we're trying to make it, simplify things and not to be too concerned. But in the back of my head, I did have that little voice or red flag that's saying that you need to do more for her. You need to really know get to the root cause of the problem. So the concern was always there until one day she brought a report. She had done MRI testing, and then the report, it wasn't in the proper specialty or the proper form of the test, but it did mention the specific lesions or the signs we usually see in imaging in MS patients. At that time, she wasn't diagnosed, but it was very striking for me knowing that this is the likely cause. But at the time, no one was aware, and it's very difficult for me to break this news for her because I'm not sure, but it's likely. And her asking repeatedly, what do you think it is? Is it something concerning? Is it something serious? What do I need to do next? And a lot of the physician in me woke up and then trying to handle the situation, right? I remember strictly we were sitting in the family room and everyone was around us. So I'm trying to absorb the shock, but at the same time, guide her, give her enough answers to actually calm that concern she's having, which was rightfully there from the start. Yeah. When I found out my sister had MS, it was very emotional. I don't know how to explain this, but I did know prior to her actually being diagnosed. I don't know if it's a sister connection or she's the closest, sister or the sibling I have. So probably that connection. Of course, it's not. We don't usually speak about the family member's journey through MS. It's mostly for the MS patient itself. But for us to be supportive for her, we have to be in the right mindset. I try to do as much as I can, but honestly, she's the rock. She's the strong person in this journey. So, like any other person, patient or family member, knowing that you have access to a doctor, you can always ask questions anytime during the day or the night. So I try to be there as much as I can and not to sugarcoat things, but actually be straightforward, because sometimes it may not be easy, but it's better for the patient to understand the truth about what's happening. So in the beginning, I was hiding what was happening or what I thought was the serious cause, knowing it's MS. I specifically remember the term demyelinating lesions, which is, very much associated with MS. So just be there for her, the good days, the bad days, during the symptoms, the emotional roller coaster that everyone goes through during this disease, as much as I can. well, she would ask for the same advice sometimes over and over and over. But sometimes she would take, sometimes, like any other patient, if they're not settled with the answer they're receiving, they'll go and ask, not necessarily a doctor, but they'll Google stuff, they'll read in books, they'll ask other patients, they'll go, to other people to try to find out alternatives of what's possible. And that's the denial phase I think any patient go through for any disease, not only MS. What I found inspiring about my sister Muna is almost every aspect about her life. The sister, the mother, the businesswoman, the advocate for MS. She's really, considering all the projects and things she has going on in her life, she really surprises me every single day almost with the strength she has. She may not recognize the strength she actually has and how much change she's implementing in this world, even in the small gestures. But it is fascinating to see her journey since the diagnosis until now.
And my son Hamdan has been my rock through this journey, and this is how it affected him.
If I am being honest, I think it was like in 2017, 2018. She looked, or if I remember correctly, she struggled to do something. Okay, and I was like, what's wrong? She said she's sick. And then I said, what's the name of the sickness? And then she was like, it's called MS, or multiple sclerosis. And then later, a year, when I found out what it was, I was devastated that she had it. I feel devastated because it's not a good disease. It makes the human body weak, takes away a lot of stuff that you can do, That's what I feel about it. I kept my feelings to myself. It's taught me to never give up and to keep moving forward. Yeah. At first, I wasn't really that worried when I found, because it could be just a cold or something. And then when I actually found out that it does all these stuff to the human body, I started taking care of her and I just have respect for her, a lot of respect. One time we were in Ferrari World. I didn't want to get on anything because, as usual, I'm a scaredy cat. And then my brother, my sister, and my mom went on the inside roller coaster, which is for pretty much kids, and they went on it. I just watched them, and my mom, she was very excited. She didn't feel any nausea, which she usually felt nausea not even in a roller coaster. And usually she would feel nausea when she's in bed doing pretty much anything, but she didn't feel anything at all, and I was quite impressed. I think my mom is brave because she has never stopped to try and overcome it. Way back in 2013, when she first got the disease, she told me a story. She always tried to overcome it. All the years that she had the multiple sclerosis, she's trying to overcome it. And I'm pretty sure in at least the next year or 2 years, she's gonna overcome it.
On the next episode, we are joined by Dr. Jihad Enshasi, who helps us understand what is multiple sclerosis. I hope you can join me then.